Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes. My name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching business, accounting, economics and law. So I'd like to use this opportunity to try to increase your knowledge, reduce your risk and improve your strategy. So quick recap on yesterday's analysis. We looked at one of the companies I looked at was DSG Global. So this is one I'm predicting over the next 1 or 2 weeks is going to consolidate higher. Yesterday it closed at 99 cents, so it's still, I believe, in the buying zone at under $1. This represented a 2% rise, which is positive, and I expect this to go over $1.20 within the next 2 weeks. Okay, so let's move on to the purpose of the current video. The next stock analysis is going to be for ABML. So I'd like to share some updates and insights into a potential link with Tesla. So I'm going to investigate that, have a look at that and present some evidence. Okay, so let's start with how American Battery Metals, ticker symbol ABML, did yesterday after my initial video a couple of days ago. So we can see this shot up 44.59% at the close on Friday, which is a fantastic run up. It has had a sustained run up for the previous 2 to 3 days of trading, which is very pleasing. Do expect a little bit of consolidation next week, so just be aware of that. So let me just share with you my history of trading with American Battery Metals. In a previous video, I did say that I invested in American Battery Metals in back from December 2020. My price at that time was 30 cents. So as you can see in the ticker symbol there, this has generated me a return of over 995%. At one point yesterday, I was up over 1,000%. So it's a company I believe in, company I think has a great future, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an analysis of this and a potential link with Tesla. So let's get started. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the current bar chart opinion based on the date 22nd of January 2001. So the latest update is the overall average opinion is a buy 100%, short-term indicators, medium-term indicators and long-term indicators. The updated support, resistance and pivot points from bar chart are support at $1.84, pivot point $3.03, and resistance going to be $4.22, which is very, very promising. So this going forward is certainly something that should give you more confidence. So let's have a look at the trading again in terms of volume. If we look at, I've just basically taken an analysis of trading in the last minute before close. So this represents the volume of trading at 8:59. As you can see in green represents buy, red represents sell, and we can see there are significant numbers of buy at 8:59, literally seconds before closing. We can see some people were buying 3,000 shares, 2,000 shares, 3,000 shares at the price of $3.34. There are some sell-offs. We can see one person sold 4,000 shares at $3.33. Some person sold $1,005 worth of 1,005 shares at $3.33. But the momentum certainly seems to be in the buy zone. Next analysis, let's look at the change in government. So we look at the priority of the Biden government. The Biden government, according to the tweets and the news reports and the incoming information, looking at certainly the Biden government is going to move EVs, electric vehicles, batteries to the center of economic policy, because obviously this is good for the environment. Biden is certainly pro-environment and pro in terms of promoting electric vehicles and battery technology. So this is positive for us as investors of American Battery Metals. Okay, so let's look at the lithium shortage, analysis of lithium shortage. So for companies like Tesco, as you can read there and follow along, there'll be a huge and continuous demand for battery metals. It's also going to be likely to be a shortage at least going into 2025. So if you convert the mined minerals to battery grade materials, this can take up to 2 years. Major lithium producers, such as the companies identified in the charts there, did fall short of their production goals. So we can see there in black the production was what they was actually carried out, and in blue we can see this was the target production, and in all 5 companies this did fall short. So this shows that there is going to be a huge demand and also not enough supply, which means the work of companies like American Battery Metals is going to be in more need. Okay, so let's look at the potential links between American Battery Metals and Tesla. So let's first of all look at location. So the site where American Battery Metals are building their new plant and also the location of the Tesla Gigafactory, if you have a look at there, is literally a 22-minute drive. Both businesses are potentially complementing each other. So Tesla is going to need lithium, Tesla is going to need battery technology, and American Battery Metals is also going to need customers. So it seems more than coincidental that the location is virtually within the same 25-mile radius. Let's have a look at the next evidence. The next evidence that I'd like to present to you is obviously the staff. So we can see that American Battery Metals, more than one member of their highly qualified staff are ex-Tesla employees. So if we look at one of them, which is we can see Ryan Melsert. He joined as the CTO in 2019. He was an ex-Tesla employee, receiving one of the top 1% awards. So again, this is strong evidence of a potential link with Tesla and American Battery Metals, which is positive for the future. We can see that American Battery Metals is in strong hands. It's run by highly qualified and experienced people. Going forward, it's certainly a company that has the foundation to be successful. Okay, next thing I'd like to look at is just a quick SWOT analysis that I've created for American Battery Metals. So SWOT analysis, looking at the strengths, looking at their weaknesses, their opportunities and their threats. So anybody who's studied business or marketing will certainly know what I'm talking about. So let's have a look at the strengths. Strengths, as I previously discussed just shortly, ex-Tesla staff and certainly highly qualified and experienced staff. If you refer back to my previous video, we also looked at very recent government funding for American Battery Metals to develop their business. We have investor belief. You certainly look at the share price and the valuation. It is increasing tremendously. And also we just looked at location, ideal location, not far away from Tesla. Going forward, also location in terms of plans to expand in the future, possibly worldwide, but initially across the USA. So these are the strengths. Let's have a look at the weaknesses. Obviously, they have no revenue, and this is what a lot of the critics will say. Again, I talked about this in the previous video. However, having no revenue is also reflected in their current share price. Once they develop revenue and once they have a running business model, you have to realize that will also be reflected in the share price. So investing in an organization like this going forward, once it develops revenue, you as an investor, you as an owner will benefit from that. So imagine investing in Facebook when they were not even a website. You can say and criticize, yeah, they've got nothing, it's just an idea. But as an investor, you have that belief, you invest in them, you invest in the future, you invest in the growth, and then you benefit from that gain. So this is what I believe is possible with American Battery Metals. Another weakness we've got is they are currently only OTC listing. Investors in the UK through the Trading 212 app are very, very privileged in terms of we can invest directly into American Battery Metals through the invest account. In the USA, the majority of investors through their Robinhood account are unable to invest in American Battery Metals. They have to use alternative platforms. This makes it more difficult for the majority of people. So it's currently a weakness. Then American Battery Metals is not yet receiving that mass market investment. However, from the Brits' point of view, for us, it's not necessarily a weakness for us. They're also OTC listing, which is less regulation, more volatility, more risk. And we can also see that they are still considered a penny stock. I consider any stock below $10 to be a penny stock. So penny stock carries more risk, more volatility. So this is certainly what you need to be aware of going forward. What are the opportunities? The opportunities, the companies have already announced that they are going to have NASDAQ listing. It's not necessarily a requirement of the NASDAQ listing to have revenue, so that's not a barrier. However, they do have to have other conditions which I'm confident they will meet. One of them being the share price moving up away from a penny stock, and we can certainly see the direction is positive from that point of view. We can see another opportunity. So opportunities are things that have not yet happened but could potentially happen, and they could also lead to a boost, an escalation in the share price. We can see that there is certainly an opportunity to expand in the US and worldwide, so tremendous opportunity there. There's also a huge demand of the EV sector. Boris Johnson announced from the year 2025 he wouldn't petrol and diesel cars will no longer be sold. So we can see the future already. So this is positive as well. And another opportunity is a potential Tesla deal. Again, the reason why it's an opportunity is it's not confirmed. However, with the staff, with the location, and with lithium, which is in shortage and which is going to be required by Tesla, in my opinion, this will happen. Finally, the threats. So this is the negative side. We've got legislation. Again, there could be some legislation in that potentially may impact them negatively. We don't know what this legislation could be because going forward, everything is unpredictable. There could be a surprise law the American government releases if there's another change in government in 4 years' time, and that government is anti-environmentalist and anti-EV, then they could bring in legislation. I don't believe this will happen, but it's a risk some people need to be aware of if that's what you think. You've also got competition. Again, it is a threat. There are other people out there, but I believe competition is healthy. And finally, another threat is there is a shortage of lithium. So that's certainly a threat going forward in the future, and that's something that has to be explored. But from a business point of view, they are in the right area in terms of if they can access these resources, this should not be a viable threat. Okay, final part of the video. So this is just a quick 5-minute lesson on moving averages and understanding what they mean. So these are calculations that you will see on graphs. So let's have a look at the next slide. So we can see there we have 100 days, 20 days, or 3 days. So a 100-day moving average has less volatility, 20 days has less volatility compared to the 3 days, which is the most volatile. And a short-term investor might be more interested in the 3-day moving average, where he's looking to invest in when the curve goes down and to sell when the curve goes up in terms of the share price. How is the moving average calculated? So if we take the share price on Friday, Thursday and Wednesday, we add the share prices up and simply divide by 3, and that gives us the moving average. So you keep doing that going backwards from the day the business traded. So you have an average, you plot the dots and you come up with a curve. So for the 100-day average, you go back 100 days, divide it by 100, and you plot the line. So over time, the 100 days will give you more of an indication of the long-term potential. Okay, so let's have a look at American Battery Metals. So we can see here that, just get the slide. There we go. So from a technical analysis point of view, if we look here, the 5-day moving average for American Battery Metals, we can see recent calculation is 2.06. The 20th moving day average is 1.42. 50-day moving average is 0.73, and the 100-day moving average is 0.43. We can see on the right there the percentage change. So again, it's all green, it's all positive. So if you are a long-term investor in American Battery Metals, this should give you more confidence because going forward, this is certainly something good in terms of return on your investment. However, going forward, to finish off my price prediction for American Battery Metals, I would suggest a strike price anything below 3 right now. If you can get it, you need to be patient. If there is a dip anywhere close to 3, that's where I would recommend entering in here. Anybody who's already invested in American Battery Metals, my personal advice is to keep your shares for the long term. And then if you are a new investor, what you can do is keep your shares, but take some of your profit eventually, and then that way you'll reduces your risk. So thanks very much for watching. Please join me in the next video where I will share an analysis of another stock. And the next stock I share with you is the stock I hold the most shares in. So please keep tuned, subscribe, like. Thank you very much.